All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol WWR, Westwater Resources Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to state some things. And the first thing is, welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. And to all my subscribers, welcome back. Let's jump into this chart. So, Westwater Resources Inc. was a phenomenal run here for all the bulls in the last couple of days since the beginning of October. I mean, the whole market was volatile, up and down, and Westwaters was making the bulls a lot of money these last coming days, and you could see that the run was very led by the bulls, and it started getting a little bit turbulent yesterday, rose up today, and it started to fall from this peak at the beginning of the day and reaching these lows, touching the support, which is actually very interesting, and rose back up and leveled off slightly above the 50-day moving average. Something that I stated yesterday in the video was pay very close attention to the 50-day moving average of this stock, because it was not going to stop for anyone, and it was going to do everything it can to continue to catch up to the price. So the bulls needed a breakthrough resistance, as we spoke yesterday, for this bullish run to continue. I'm not saying that the bulls can't come back now and recover this and continue a bullish run, but any investor that saw this and was thinking of jumping in and they haven't already, I would be very cautious. Pay very close attention to what's going on in the news, do your due diligence, do your research, as well as how is this stock reacting the next coming days, and if it even breaks through the resistance levels that we're about to talk about as I zoom in here. But this was very important to be broken through. This is the highest point that the stock reached, and from that point forward it started to dip. So 1498, I'd write that down. This is super important for any bull and for every investor thinking about jumping in on this and seeing if this continues to run up. 1498 needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that this can continue to hit newer highs. I mean, quickly the bulls appeared, and after that, once today started the day, the bears started to bring this one down. So yes, they did great appearing here and bringing this up, and it leveled off, but the bulls needed to continue the run at 1498, turn that into a support and hit newer highs, and quickly it started to dip. Now support was used, so that's a great sign that there's an opportunity for this possibly tomorrow to continue to level off and see if the bulls can reappear. That's great. But if this support gets broken through, which I'm about to point out right now, 1013, this could start to see newer lows, and this support level is now considered in bearish territory. So I wouldn't wait till this point. I'm going to zoom this in as much as possible. That's why I'm giving you these numbers zoomed out, because they're very important, and they're yesterday's support before the run, and it was used as support and it bounced back. But the 50-day moving average did not stop. It continued to move closer to the price, which also is showing that we can end up in bearish territory, and this could start to see newer lows if it ends up in bearish territory, which we're really close to it. And the tug of war, like I said, very interesting for tomorrow, and if it breaks through 1013, this could start to see newer lows and newer support levels. So I'm gonna break this down as much as possible so that you guys as investors can have all the cues, because this one's a very volatile one and there's uncertainty. Unless good news comes out or there's something innovative behind this bullish run, then there could be a possible run to continue, and the bulls need to break through the resistance levels that I am about to talk about. So before we jump into zooming in, 1013 is the first support level to keep in mind after the one I'm about to point out. And the next one, which is the most important one here, is 929. If that gets broken through, this could start to see new lows fairly quickly and hit new support levels. Up here, highest point, 1498. Write that down. Super important number. I would not want to miss out on knowing that information. But I'm going to go ahead and move this very narrow stretch here to its new locations, as the last couple of hours of the market have been. There hasn't been a lot of volatility. It's just been in a sideways movement, but the 50-day moving average is so close right now that the bulls can lose control of being on bullish territory and quickly fall into bearish territory. And if it doesn't really move by much, this 50-day moving average by default is just going to cross over it, and when we ended up in bearish territory. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Right now the price is at 1165, and the first point that the bulls need to break through is 1290. They need to break through that resistance level, turn that into a support, so they can start to continue to work their way up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. I want to emphasize that they need to break through this. It's not let's hang out sideways, or let's just kind of bounce around in between these two and kind of stay. No, because this will cross over the price, and then we're in bearish territory, and then the bears, all they're going to do is try to gain leverage, break through support levels, and bring this down to newer lows. So the bulls need to break through 1290, turn that into a support, and continue to work their way up to newer highs and newer resistance levels, and they can start to pull themselves away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. On the other hand, we have what the bears want. The bears want to get obviously below the 50-day moving average by crossing it and then breaking through support. So if the bears accomplish this, they broke through two things. They broke through the 50-day moving average, getting into bearish territory, which is super close to the price right now. Our 50-day moving average is 1138. I keep that in mind and write it down. Can't land right on it. It jumps around 39 and 37, but 1138 is our 50-day moving average, and we're super close to it by a couple cents. If that gets crossed, we're in bearish territory, and if support level gets crossed, the bears have accomplished breaking through the first support level in bearish territory to start to bring this down to newer lows and newer support levels. So the first support level here is 1091. I'd keep that in mind, and I want to emphasize, pay very close attention to the behavior of how this stock is reacting. And if 1091 does get crossed, I mean, there's still a possibility that the bulls can reappear and bring this back up. And that's why the tug of war is going to be interesting tomorrow, because we're super close to the 50-day moving average, and support levels and resistance levels are not too far away from it. So everything's kind of in a narrow tunnel right now where they're going to be pulling back and forth, and one or the other is going to take over this chart fairly quickly and bring this down either to newer lows or bring this up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. But 1091, I want to emphasize, pay very close attention to the behavior. How quickly is it moving to newer lows and getting closer to the other support levels that I mentioned earlier? Or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this one back up? So put your 1-minute chart, your 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart to look at the behavior. Go ahead and count how many candlesticks are red, are green. Are the bears dominating the chart? How much inflow, outflow is going on? And double check all that stuff so that you guys can be well aware of which direction this is going. And if 1091 gets broken through, again, pay very close attention. You're already in bearish territory, and this could start to see newer lows and newer support levels. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watch this video. At the end of this video, there's a pop-up video. I want you guys to go ahead and watch it. For all of you that haven't had a chance to or are new to my channel, check it out. I highly recommend it because there's great information in there talking about the S&P 500 and how there are scheduled dates by the Federal Reserve that is pumping the markets. I show it in the charts. You can see it in the video that the S&P 500 rises up several points on those scheduled dates. Well, what does that mean for us as investors? Well, if the S&P 500 is rising, there are 500 ticker symbols with it rising as well. And most of them are rising anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share, causing the S&P 500 index to rise those several points. Now, those individual ticker symbols are great to know and be aware of because there are opportunities to maximize profits and minimize losses. I'm not saying that you're going to guaranteed get profits or this is something that I'm telling you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just here to inform and enlighten everyone on something that many investors are overlooking or unaware of. The charts are saying it. They're speaking for themselves. And I go ahead and go into detail about it in the video. So check it out. I'm just here to enlighten everyone, share the great news that there's an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.